All right, so I've got a custom torso build that I wanted to show off in this video. A couple of other things too. But yeah, I was just playing around with all things my Mystica custom foot build and figured out that I could turn it into a torso actually pretty easily. I'm really happy with it. It's kind of the keener proportions, and I don't plan on using it in red, though the red looks great. Thankfully, this foot and this shin guard piece here are available in several of the same colors. I think Keat Orange is about the only one they're not both available in, but it works out reasonably well. And of course, you can flip around the ball joints in the arms and stuff like that, so works out really nicely. I plan on probably using yellow for it, so maybe like a yellow and black or yellow and dark gray, something like that. But really happy with how it works, and it all works basically thanks to that connection on the back here, which, if you did not know, yes, you can actually connect a studded plate, if I can even get it off here, to the back of this piece, because it is officially designed to fit plates. It is designed to fit system pieces. It's honestly unique in that way. I don't know of any other block that's intended to do something like that isn't just straight pinholes, you know? So it's a really interesting connection. It's quite secure as well, thankfully. So I'm not going to complain about it, but yeah, it gives you a really interesting little torso build here. So I love it. I'll definitely experiment with it a lot more. And I had one other interesting thing I found, a little bit of a connection discovery involving this. Boy, oh boy, I don't know about this piece. But combining it with this piece here. So I don't really care for this foot all that much, not because it's not a fine design, it's perfectly fine, but the lack of connections. Bin 10 in general had a lot of pieces that lacked connections where they honestly should have been, just because it's unused space otherwise, right? Nothing else proprietary fits inside of here, so why not add an actual connection? It's literally Lego just taking it from you for the sake of taking it from you, and I don't really like that. But what I did find was actually this little spot right back here, which I believe is one module wide, that little opening, and that is just enough to fit in these little grooves right below the axle here, meaning that I can go like this, and it literally clicks into place. It's great, and you can do it in basically either angle, so you can have it where it's kind of a jaw if you want, or you could even aim it the opposite direction and have it connect from the top here, and now you've got like a foot or something, right? So I actually was doing this because I wanted to use these in a custom torso, but again, really difficult piece to work with, so it was kind of a bit of a challenge for myself. Thankfully, this foot does come in a lot of colors, including sand green, so that's a good one, and maybe I'll mess around with that if I get some of those. But yeah, so super happy with it. I think they come in sand green. Actually, I'm not positive they do. I'll have to look. With that said, though, yeah, this is sort of a celebration video in a way. We hit another milestone, 2 milestones actually, on YouTube. First of all, we hit 1,800 subscribers today, and so thanks. I don't know. Yesterday we hit 1,750, so I wasn't expecting it to go so fast, but I woke up this morning to like 40 more subscribers for some reason, so I'm happy people like my videos, I guess. Thank you all. But yeah, I don't know that many people. I don't know 10% of that many people, you know, so it's like, I don't know. My nose is itching me. I got little mustache hairs. I want to poke into it. But the other milestone, if you want to call it that, is so yesterday I was pushing this a bunch because I had the Lego ideas set that I submitted actually get approved. Finally, it took a long time. I mean, granted, Christmas break, so I get it. But not only was it approved, it ended up being the most supported idea submission of any of the ideas submitted yesterday specifically. Kind of a weird niche, you know, little milestone, I guess, but that's really cool. We passed 100 supporters in that one day, so thank you all so much for that as well. I know you guys are a big part of this, and I want to push it whenever I can, just because I really like it. I even if it wasn't a set that I made, I would want to support it, because A, it's crab, B, it's crab with function, and C, it's a Technic animal. Not the first time that's been done before, but I think maybe it's the first time it's been done where the animal had a function specifically, right? And so I really like that. I think it's definitely a unique take on it, and it's not overly large, it's not overly complicated, but it's a learning experience both as the item it is and as the animal it represents, right? So you get to learn both about the mechanism of it and, you know, this Atlantic ghost crab, and that's pretty cool. So if you want to check that out, of course, I will link that one in the description as well. But yeah, subscribers, what do I say? You know, it's a lot, you know. I didn't I didn't imagine getting here so quickly, you know. And I know 1800 is not like, oh, biggest channel on YouTube. Right? I'm not worried about that. It's big for me, you know. My Instagram has been sitting at like 2700, which is also a lot of people, but it had been sitting there basically for like the better part of a year. It was pretty much stagnant. No matter what I'd really do, just wasn't gaining followers. So I was like, okay, you know, I've kind of like peaked on there, not because anything I had been doing, but I tend to look at like trendy stuff as not necessarily something I want to do, because I see a lot of that stuff as kind of unfortunately being stolen, you know, which is a whole topic I could get into on its own. But you know, so I don't try to hop on like trends and things like that. And so I figured, you know, I've reached a lot of the people that are going to find my account on Instagram, and fair enough, you know. I'm happy, I'm satisfied with the work that I do there. And though I do it to get support, I guess I really just do it for me, you know. For what it's worth, I've taken a bit more of a laid back approach to Instagram in general this year, just because like it's not the most important thing in my life. At the end of the day, like I don't get anything but the satisfaction from Instagram. And satisfaction can be enough, but when I've got other things to do here at home, when I've got builds and things to take care of, when I've got the Discord and stuff to moderate, like that's more important to me, because that's my community. You know, Instagram is an awesome place to post, and there are a lot of really loyal and lovely people there. But at the end of the day, it's not, that's not where my heart is. You know what I'm saying? So I do enjoy it. But right now, honestly, I've been enjoying this more than I expected to. I think part of it's the allure of being kind of a new thing. I've been on YouTube for years now at this point. I believe 2019 to 2020, somewhere in there was when I started originally. But I never treated it as a thing, you know. It was just kind of something on the back of my mind. If I had some extra content to put out, I would. If someone asked for a demonstration of some kind of function working, I'd show it to them, or, you know, post a video about it, whatever. And occasionally I would do videos on things that I enjoyed, like the bootleg series, for example, because bootlegs fascinate me. You know, I got a piece sitting up there that I've probably shown on a video before, and I want to do again. But it's little things like that, right? But at the end of the day, before all of this, I was making YouTube channels basically as an afterthought, as something I felt like I had to do rather than wanted to do. Does that make sense? And I think that's a really important aspect to YouTube, is just finding something you enjoy about it. You know, there are always people that critique what I do, and that's fine, that's fair, because we all have different tastes. And there are also a lot of people that say, hey, you should do it things this way instead of that way. And I applaud that, because like I want to learn where I can grow, where I can improve the channel. But at the end of the day, there are certain limitations. I've mentioned that in the past, so I'm not going to go over that too much here. But also, there's a specific vibe I want to go for on the channel. And though I continue to learn, I'm pretty happy with where we are currently. Is it perfect? No, absolutely not. But at the same time, it's one of the reasons I say I'm not like a biotuber or whatever, right? Because like it's my channel because it's a thing I enjoy, not because it's where I want to focus my bionicles all of the time, because that's not what it's about. It's a part of me. It's a part of my life. It's a part of my passions, but it's not the only thing I'm passionate about. So if I turned this channel into a bionicle channel, that's cool. But I think there's a limit to that, you know, like there's a cap to that, not only mentally, not only in terms of anchoring that passion in something I can't necessarily control, but also just in terms of how far it can reach, you know, before there's sort of a natural end for me specifically, before I burn out. Does that make sense? So I think that's kind of what I'm trying to get across with like Instagram stuff too, is that I enjoy Instagram, but I don't find the allure in it quite as much as I do with YouTube right now. YouTube is something I'm really enamored with, and I'm quite enjoying, and has been just honestly an incredible resource. And I think the other reason too is honestly the sheer amount of engagement and the depth of that engagement, right? I'll get comments and things like that on Instagram, and that's always awesome. And surely there's some kind of limit to how long comments on Instagram can be. But for the most part, even if I put something out that gets like 1,000 likes or something like that, I don't get like a ton of comments, and that's fine, because that's not what I posted for. But I like to engage with my audience. And so when I post something here, brainstorming or finding something cool that I found that I want to share with you guys, a new passion of mine or whatever, like that's a lot of fun for me, because it's in part like, you guys are experiencing it with me for the first time. Maybe you're just experiencing my joy. I don't know, my passion for it. But hey, maybe that's enough, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Again, thank you all so much. 1800 is absolutely incredible. I jokingly said something about hitting 2000 before the end of the year, which is not a possibility. It's not something in my mind, but it's also, I guess, putting it out there into the ether, or whatever they say. I don't believe in any of that, but it's nice to be positive. You know, it's nice to have a goal to reach. It's nice to have an outlook on something in a direction you want to go, rather than being pessimistic and saying, I can't do it, so why try, you know. And I think that's one of the most important things that this has taught me. So but yeah, if you guys enjoyed this content, make sure you do like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. I don't usually tell people to like, but you guys are pretty good at doing that on your own. Of course, you can always check out Discord, Instagram, and Patreon if you want to support the channel, get some perks in the description. And of course, we can continue the conversation in the description. In the description, yeah. In the comments. Later, guys.